right. Good afternoon and welcome to the regular meeting of the University of Guam Board of Regents. My name is Regent Pete Diaz, chairperson of the board, and I will be presiding over today's meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. Thank you for all being here. This meeting is being held in accordance with Guam's open government law, with notices published in the Pacific Daily News e-edition on November 17 and 20, 2025. And posted on the Government of Guam Public Notices portal. The agenda for today's meeting has been publicly posted in accordance with the open government law. Today's meeting is open to the public and is also being live streamed on the University of Guam YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/UOG Tritons. We kindly ask that all attendees observe proper decorum throughout the meeting. Please be respectful in your comments and refrain from any disruptions. Should disruptions occur, individuals may be asked to leave. For online participants, please mute your microphones unless recognized to speak and refrain from any inappropriate or disruptive behavior. Please also note that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed. By attending in person or virtually, you are consenting to being recorded, including any remarks you may make during the open presentation portion of the meeting. At this time, I officially call the meeting to order at 5:35 p.m. On agenda item 2.0, meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to approve our regular meeting minutes of September 25th, 2025?
Regent Chen motions to approve.
May I have a second?
Regent Naholo seconds.
All right, we'll move to discussion. Hearing none, all regents have read the meeting minutes. I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion is passed unanimously. Moving on to agenda 3.0, chairperson's remarks. So Hafaday, members of the board, President Enriquez, administrators, faculty, staff, students, and our community partners. Thank you for joining us today for the fourth quarter regular meeting of the Board of Regents. It's been a very busy and purposeful period as we continue our work supporting the mission of the University of Guam. First, it is my pleasure to welcome back our newest member of our board, Marcus Fung. Regent Fung, your knowledge of our community, your institutional memory, and your commitment will contribute strongly to the board's work. We look forward to collaborating with you as we advance the university's priorities. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to say a few words?
Well, it's a pleasure to be back. It's been a while, and the university looks a little bit different since I was last sitting here. I actually went to the wrong room before this meeting, but I know where to go now, and I look forward to contributing. Thank you.
Thank you. So over the past 2 months, the University of Guam has continued to build upon the momentum of the academic year, advancing both academic and community engagement initiatives. I'd like to highlight several of these key developments. First, our EOG Press announced the launch of the Titanum Amatsiha, plants used in traditional Chamorro healing by Lourdes Toves Meklotlia, which was held on November 15, 2025. And our Center of Island Sustainability and EOG Sea Grant, in partnership with NAFAC Marianas, hosted a brown tree snake control workshop that brought community members together in hands-on conservation action. These efforts continue to illustrate our commitment to our island wisdom heritage, to community partnerships, and to research that serves Guam and the region. We are now in the final stretch of preparing our Fanunsan in Fall 2025 commencement, scheduled for Sunday, December 21 at the EOG Calvo Field House at 2 p.m. As we plan for this milestone occasion, we'd like to note that approximately 185 students are expected to graduate. This moment is not only a celebration of individual achievement, but also a reflection of the university's broader mission, creating graduates who are ready to serve Guam and the Micronesian region. So thank you to all who are helping to make the upcoming commencement ceremony a success. As always, while progress is real, there are key areas that merit continued attention. Ensuring graduate readiness and student support, A successful commencement requires that all graduating students have completed the degree requirements, met advising milestones, financial holds have been cleared, and support services are fully engaged. Another is sustaining community outreach and research funding. The work being done by UOG Press, CIS, Sea Grant, and other units is commendable, yet we must continue to secure external funding, strengthen partnerships, and translate research into community benefit. For enrollment and retention monitoring, as Fenunsan fall term progresses, monitoring student enrollment, retention rates, and early indicators of student success will remain a priority. So as we prepare to close calendar year 2025 and move into Nakin Spring 2026, I encourage all of us to focus on these priorities. First, ensure a memorable and well-executed commencement on December 21st, and our graduating students, their families, and our community, campus community. Second, continue our student success drive supporting retention and timely graduation, aligning with our academic master plan and strategic plan goals. Third, maintain the link between research, island wisdom, and community impact. Our partnerships with agencies, our cultural publishing, our environmental outreach are all hallmarks of UOG's relevance and value. And last, prepare for Famnium Nakan spring semester operations, enrollment management, course scheduling, facility readiness, marketing, and student life planning. In closing, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to our president, Dr. Enriquez, for her leadership team, to our faculty and staff who tirelessly serve our students and community, to our students who choose to be part of the Triton story, and to my fellow board members for your service and governance. May our shared efforts continue to reflect the spirit of Excelsior and our island wisdom values of respect, compassion, and community. Thank you, and I now turn to our agenda to look forward to our president's report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for that beautiful scope of updates. It makes my life easier. Half-a-day good evening to members of our Board of Regents, as well as to our Triton Familia, our employees, our faculty, our staff, our administrators, especially our students and our stakeholders are tuning in this afternoon. It is my honor to present the fourth quarter of the President's report. Included with my narrative is a short newsletter that was distributed earlier. We do have that available electronically as well, that highlights 5 different components, 4 of which are directly connected to the strategic pillars of our Tulus Motna strategic plan. So to the strategic pillar number 1, Ipinexai Universidad. Ensure every student receives a guided voyage to their destination. Allow me to expand what our Enrollment Management and Student Success Division has been doing with regard to intensify outreach, advising, and financial aid initiatives to ensure that more of our Guam's youth, working adults can see a clear, affordable path to a UOG degree. So with regard to expanding college access and readiness, we've been diversifying and expanding our reach. Over the past few months, we've approached Guam's public and private schools, engaged students and families where they live and learn by going out to their respective spaces. The team connected with public as well as private high school students through college fairs, as well as classroom presentations, lunchtime information sessions, and parent-teacher conference events. Beyond the K-12 system, our Enrollment Management Student Success Division also represented UOG at community-based events, including that of the Rotary Club of the Marianas Middle School Leadership Conference, the Sanctuary Incorporated's Power of Youth panel, the RISE Teen Expo hosted by the Guam Community College DECA and Junior Achievement, as well as outreach efforts that are linked directly to military families from both Anderson Air Force Base and Naval Base Guam. These engagements expand UOG's presence in youth leadership, workforce development, and military connected communities, ensuring broad public awareness of the opportunities available at our respective university. With regard to dual enrollment and pathways from high school to UOG, I'm excited to share that in partnership with the Guam Department of Education, together with the EMSS and the Office of Senior Vice President and Provost, they are advancing policy changes to expand the dual enrollment and advanced high school programs. The goal is to allow eligible high school students to enroll in a wider range of college-level courses, particularly in core subjects that count towards both high school graduation and degree requirements at UOG. A new tuition waiver funded through the Student Financial Assistance Program will cover up to 6 credit hours for the first 20 high school seniors who complete placement testing and register for spring 2026 under the Advanced High School Program. This initiative directly lowers the cost barrier for families and accelerates students' time to degree. UOG has also been working with the CNMI's public school system to design an online dual enrollment model that will extend access to students in the Northern Marianas. This regional partnership supports Micronesian students who may not have local four-year options, but can benefit from UOG's programs and faculty expertise. The one-stop registration, advising, and financial aid category of this particular pillar. To keep our students on track toward graduation, EMS has organized 11 Triton one-stop events in November for early spring 2026 registration. These events, held on campus and supported by our admissions and records, the financial aid, and academic advisors, provide a single location where students can receive personal advising, resolve holds, adjust schedules, and complete financial aid requirements. Financial aid outreach has also expanded significantly. Through October and November, the Financial Aid Office conducted FAFSA information sessions and completion workshops on campus, in local high schools, and in collaboration with the Guam Department of Education and GCC. These sessions help seniors meet Guam's new graduation requirements for FAFSA completion, and more importantly, ensure that students and families understand how to maximize these grants and scholarships before taking on loans. Under our student life, well-being, and belonging, this remains a cornerstone for retention and student success. This quarter, the Student Life Office delivered updated orientation and training for officers from all 47 registered student organizations. These sessions covered new university fiscal procedures, marketing and branding guidelines, and student organization policies so that students can safely and effectively host events that benefit both campus and our broader community. Student organizations continue to serve the island through coastal cleanups, community health and STEM outreach, and public events such as the Halloween trunk or treat activities that were open to families. Looking ahead, Student Life and Student Health are collaborating on the Triton's Unwind event in December, a de-stress initiative before finals that promotes mental wellness. Under strategic pillar number 2, which reads position UOG as a trusted source for quality programs, research, service, and extension, the university continues to strengthen its role as Guam's premier center for research, outreach, and community engagement. The past quarter highlighted UOG's growing influence not only on island, but across our region and nationally. I'm pleased to share that, for example, Dr. Kenneth Gofigan Cooper was recently inducted as a Pacific Academy of Sciences Fellow. This is one of the most prestigious recognitions in our region, and it affirms UOG's leadership in Micronesian studies, indigenous governance, and security scholarship. Our students are also shining on the national stage. At the recent 2025 SACNAS National Diversity in STEM Conference, several Triton researchers earned national recognition for their presentations. Their success reflects the strength of UOG's STEM mentorship pipeline, particularly with the faculty, and the caliber of research training taking place across our programs with our students. We also continue to expand experiential learning and applied science opportunities. Through a USDA NEPA investment, CNAS has constructed 4 new nursery facilities that now support instruction, research, and student organization projects. These spaces are giving students hands-on exposure to agriculture, food security, and climate resilient practices, skills that are vital to our island's future. Through our land grant programs, housed primarily under the College of Natural and Applied Sciences, UOG delivered a full calendar of extension workshops from September through November. Residents of all ages benefited from value-added food production sessions, poultry processing workshops, fresh and frugal cooking classes for young adults, garden-to-table workshops, and nutrition and aging programs. These efforts continue to strengthen food security, promote healthier families, and support small producers across Guam. This quarter, UOG also hosted the Guam Farmer Focus Conference, bringing together nearly 300 farmers, agribusinesses, researchers, and community leaders from Guam and throughout Micronesia. Over 2 days of sessions and field demonstrations, participants explored agritourism, farm-to-table models, climate adaptation, small business development, and mental health in the farming community. This conference reinforced UOG's leadership in agriculture, sustainability, and regional workforce development. And finally, our faculty continue to provide trusted science-based information to the public through the Guam Daily Post UOG Horizon series and regular Pacific Daily News columns, primarily in research matters. Topics have ranged from invasive pests and plant disease to children's health, youth development, and backyard food production. These publications ensure the community has accessible, evidence-based guidance for daily decision-making. The third pillar is a focus on our employees to enrich their experience through Inadahi's and Inagwafli'i. Our people are at the heart of university's mission. This quarter, we continue to invest in employee onboarding, professional development, and recognition. The Human Resources Office conducted a new staff orientation on October 14th, welcoming 8 new employees. It included topics such as UOG's mission, values, and policies, and connected new hires to key resources that support their success. We also piloted training on documenting underperforming employees for university administrators. 16 leaders participated in the soft lunch session, which received positive feedback as a timely refresher for practical tools for fair, consistent, and legally sound performance management. To recognize excellence, the Human Resources Office will be launching the Triton Outstanding Employee Award Program, with the first quarterly honorees to be recognized in January 2026. The program will highlight staff and faculty who go above and beyond in serving students, colleagues, and the community, reinforcing the Inadahi's and Inagwafli cultural values of care and mutual support. In addition, collaboration with the Department of Administration's Human Resources Division continues to provide our UOG employees with access to government-wide training on leadership, compliance, and workforce well-being. And these partnerships extend professional development opportunities while ensuring that UOG remains aligned with broader government Guam standards and best practices. And finally, our strategic pillar 4 on financial health and sustainable growth. The first has to do with campus growth and ribbon cutting milestones. 2 major facilities, the School of Engineering and the Dr. Lucio C. Tan Student Success Center, are on track for ribbon cutting ceremonies on January 16 and January 23rd, 2026, respectively. Planning meetings with the Tan family and Goodwin Corporation have continued, including a site visit to finalize the details for the Student Success Center's respective opening and the unveiling of the commemorative plaque. We're excited about the attention that the University of Guam has received as a result of the visible growth through these first 2 facilities, with the other 2 following hopefully soon. Under advancement, alumni, and donor engagement, Our advancement office has maintained active outreach to alumni ambassadors, GovGuam agencies, and private businesses to strengthen alumni relations and cultivate support for scholarships and programs. The ongoing Alumni Spotlight social media campaign is showing Triton's success stories and reinforcing the value of a UOG education. Corporate and donor engagement continues to show promise. An initial meeting with representatives of the Samsung C&T Group explored potential areas of collaboration in technology, workforce development, and scholarships. Representatives are scheduled to visit Guam in December to continue discussions with UOG leadership. Plans are underway for a donor-sponsored cocktail event designed to identify and cultivate new philanthropic partners. Among a recent commitment of $100,000 is a scholarship for 2 students who are single parents, a direct investment in student parents balancing academic goals with family responsibilities. The Daniel and Maria Park Foundation has also committed a $1 million gift for the naming of the SBPA resource room in the Jesus and Uena Leon Guerrero Business of Public Administration building, further strengthening our capital campaign. I want to acknowledge and thank Dr. Roseanne Jones for her engagement and helping to direct the priorities for funding and in conjunction with Executive Director Katrina Perez from the UOG Endowment Foundation. For the new School of Engineering, we have now identified more than $600,000 in support and commitments, which includes a $150,000 cash pledge from SSFM International, with $30,000 already received, approximately $310,000 in-kind contributions of freight and freight services from Matson, the HDR Foundation, and Duenas Camacho and Associates, and $140,000 in capital campaign commitments from Mobil Oil Guam and the Society of American Military Engineers. Recent donations also include scholarship contributions from others across the industry. And so we're excited about using donors' circle of influence to also invite them for special campus meetings as well as campus tours. Finally, on accreditation and continuous improvement, we continue to address the areas for development under the last WAS Senior College and University Commission action letter related to our student handbook, which is now complete, the strategic enrollment plan, which has been completed as well, and other initiatives that relate to student experience and student success. We are very excited about the progress that has been made. I want to acknowledge and thank the Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Charlene Santos Bamba, in concert with the Dean of Enrollment Management and Student Success, as well as our interim Vice President for Administration and Finance, and other members of their team for helping to provide those respective updates. In closing, I want to assure that the University of Guam continues to tulis motna or propel forward. And in the spirit of gratitude with the upcoming Thanksgiving and holiday season, I really want to extend just my deepest heartfelt gratitude for an amazing group of Tritons who are committed, dedicated to the roles in which they fill in support of our overarching mission or purpose for being, to deliver public value, for that overarching strategic intent to transform lives relating to our students and to advance communities in which we live, work, and play in. I want to extend much gratitude on behalf of the university to members of our Board of Regents for your spirit of volunteerism and commitment. Thank you so much to all of our employees, including our faculty, staff, and administrators, for your commitment, for working collegially together to move the needle forward. I especially want to thank our stakeholders, primarily our students, our student leaders. Thank you so much for keeping us in check. And also thank you for just providing your contributions with regard to sharing the good news about the hope and promise that the university provides in helping to deliver public values. This is Masi, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. All right, moving on our agenda, 5.0 reports from standing committees. 5.1, our Student Affairs Scholarship Alumni Relations and Honorary Degree or SASARD Committee. Regent Chun, if you could provide a report.
Thank you, Chairman Diaz. So the Student Affairs Scholarship, Alumni Relations, and Honorary Degree Committee met on November 12th at 1 p.m. in the President's Conference Room, and a quorum was present. Just, I'm not going to duplicate anything that President Enriquez went over, but I did want to highlight big kudos to EMSS, led by Dean Rojas and the college advisory teams on their immediate and targeted intervention to increase persistence, which is really getting towards the stop outs that we were talking about last meeting. These one-stop registration shops are working and resulted in approximately 180 students out of the 367 stop outs that were reported last month. So this is a lot of work, and I have to recognize the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, because VP Mar and her team are getting some really good data that's allowing EMSS to do targeted interventions. So this is the stuff that's working there. And students are saying, has this been going on forever? So they're appreciating this effort. I also want to just call out, we just had real-time data around enrollment. We got some numbers. Enrollment for this past semester of 3,198 students, which is just too shy of their 3,200 target. So excellent news. That will be the end of my report out for committee. And I would like to go ahead and move into 5.1.2 and make a motion relative for resolution number 25-22 relative to approving the reapportion fiscal year 2026 student financial assistance program budgets.
Motion is made. Can I have a second?
Regent Wing, a second.
All right, move on to discussion.
This is pretty straightforward. Now that we have a budget, the reapportioned budget is identical to the continuation budget that we approved from fiscal year 2025, which we just approved a month ago. So spending priorities are the same. You can see a breakdown of how SFAP office use it, or how they divvy up the program funds, but the merit scholarship receives the most funding. So it's pretty straightforward.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion on the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, Chairman Diaz, I will move on to our second resolution, resolution number 25-23, relative to approving the Fanunchanan 2025 commencement graduate listing. I'd like to make a motion to bring this to the floor.
All right, can you have a second? All right, thank you. Move on to discussion.
As President Enriquez mentioned, congratulations to this list of 185 graduates that we have slated for December 21st. We are reassured that the deadline is fluid and they don't turn anybody down for graduation. So we might see an updated number as we get closer to commencement. But congratulations to all of our students.
All right,
Thank you.
any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
And lastly, resolution number 25-32, relative to awarding the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws to Julian Uggan Esquire. I would like to make a motion to bring this to the floor.
All right, can I have a second?
Regent Malilai seconds.
Thank you. All right, move on to discussion.
Just congratulations to Attorney Julian Uggan on this well-deserved recognition, whose groundbreaking legal advocacy secured the historic 2025 International Court of Justice climate ruling and earned him one of the most prestigious international awards, the Right Livelihood Award, which is called the Alternative Nobel Prize, which incredible. Through his visionary work and decade of teaching at our university, this son of Guam has transformed climate survival from moral imperative to enforceable legal right, safeguarding Pacific Islands for generations to come. So proud to offer this for approval. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion is passed unanimously. Thank you. All right, we'll now move on to 5.2 of the agenda, the Academic Personnel and Tenure AP&T Committee. The Chair, Regent Malilai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Academic Personnel and Tenure Committee met on November 12, 2025 at 2:31 p.m. in the President's Conference Room. A quorum is present. We do have one announcement under committee update. We would like to welcome Dr. Shanika Mitchell, who will be joining our EOG team as Director of the Center for Online Learning in January 2026. 4 resolutions were presented to the committee. The first is Resolution 25-24 relative to approving the revised EOG Comprehensive Faculty Evaluation System document. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
All right, a motion's made. Can I have a second?
Regent Nahala seconds the motion.
All right, we'll move on to discussion.
Copies of the CFES document were distributed to all regents prior to this meeting, and that would be found on tab 5.2.2. See, I don't think there is a need to review in detail the document, as I know you've all obviously read it. But little tidbits I thought were noteworthy. That was the time and energy spent coming up with this 2-page section on collegiality. It just made very interesting reading if you haven't perused it. Also, the document also stated that the evaluation process, this evaluation process is a tool and intended to provide a consistent conceptual framework for all types of faculty evaluations, ranging from library science to research and creativity. So some quick highlights of the resolution was the last update of the CFES was in December 1999. As noted in the resolution, this document was developed and revised by various working groups since 2020. And these groups were from the Faculty Senate, Faculty Union, and the administrators. So all stakeholders were involved. It was also brought to our attention that the faculty union negotiations will be starting next year, and there will be amendments to union agreements to align with the new CFES document. So the AP&T committee recommends approval of this resolution.
Thank you, Regent Malilai. Any other discussion?
Thank you for recognizing me. I just wanted to quickly elaborate on the points made. Just want to quickly cover 3 areas. One is the union role. The union was basically asked to revise the original recommendation by the Senate. So we rewrote it. We spent a year rewriting it, and any errors of commission or omission can largely, not entirely, be laid at our door because it was amended somewhat afterwards. And as was noted, this isn't the last word on it because we need to amend the board union agreement to bring that into alignment with certain elements of this. And we're hoping to get that to you by February if everyone in the administration works with us to do that. I wanted to summarize some of the key priorities. The collegiality one was mentioned. And I want to say this for the record, not just, I mean, I know that the board is ready to vote, but really for the records, for administrators who'll be using it, for faculty who'll be using it, just very briefly the background. We spent a lot of time on the collegiality section because it had been brought into the previous draft in a number of ways that we didn't think were appropriate. And so that was one of the reasons why the Senate ended up referring it back to us. And there was a lot of back and forth between us and the administrative team trying to come to a consensus on what collegiality means, what it does not mean, most importantly, how it can be used and not used. The second thing was we dramatically expanded the evidence list. So please, if you are in a position to use it, go back and look at the list. Thirdly, we tried very hard to better define the roles of non-teaching faculty. That's research, extension, and library. A lot of the previous CFES had defined certain categories as if it applied to teaching faculty. And we tried to define the criteria for annual evaluations and for promotion and tenure in ways that were somewhat more realistic and more in line with the way that it was actually practiced by the P&T committees as well as the SVP and president in reviewing applications. Two of us had served on the P&T committee, Dr. Barber and I, so that informed us. Those are all the things we try to do. Things we did not do, and to some extent still need to be done, or may not need to be done. We did not provide a quantitative checklist. So many articles, so many publications, so many whatever necessary for tenure. There was a desire that we do so. There was a desire even among ourselves, among some of us, that we do so. But we decided that there was no way to come up with one formula across disciplines, and I think we state that in the document. And we do recommend that individual disciplines develop their own criteria, right? Secondly, we tried to we did not establish a fully equivalent set of criteria for what constitutes a work plan for non-teaching faculty. That is in process right now in CNAS. People are trying to develop a template for what a standard work plan for a research or extension faculty is. That is currently much more vaguely defined than it is for teaching faculty, and that needs to be done. And then thirdly, we need to still address questions of procedure, some of which were in the previous CFES. This one leaves them all to the board union agreement. At least one of them, which is the process of appealing a negative evaluation, has to be addressed in the amendment that we're hoping to put forward. And then that's it. That's all I've got. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swami. Any other comments before we close discussion? Hearing none, move to vote. All in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Okay, the second resolution is Resolution 25-25 relative to expressing appreciation to Randall V. Wigan for his dedication and service in his role as the Vice President of Administration and Finance and Chief Business Officer with the University of Guam and Government of Guam for 28 years. I move to approve this resolution.
All right, can I have a second?
Against the motion.
All right, move to discussion.
All right, if we move to 5.2.3, you will have a copy of the resolution that highlights Randy's accomplishments at University of Guam in the private sector and in other government agencies. Randy retired on July 31st, 2025, and has worked at the university since 2015. Personally, on a personal note, I came across Randy during the facilities committee, which I was overwhelmed for about 2 committee meetings. And so I've seen his dedication, his knowledge, and his guidance in implementing various projects throughout the university, which include the Simmons project, which I thought was great, and also the 4 buildings coming up. And I really wish him the best in his retirement. I know he does have plans, so I really wish him well. The AP&T committee recommends approval of this resolution.
Okay. Any other comments or discussion before? Okay.
When I first came into the Board of Regents, I was thrown into the fire to take over the finance. So we had a lunch, lasted 2 days, and we went through all the procedures and everything, and I understood. Very cordial, very informative, and I understood, so as finance people, you understand what was going on. He made my test much easier. He's a great man. I want to thank him for the support he gave me as well. That's my comment.
Thank you, Regent Mahaloa. Any other comments or discussion before we move on for a vote? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
The third resolution is Resolution 25-26, relative to expressing appreciation to Leslie Ann Leon Guerrero for her service as a member, vice chairperson, and chairperson of the Board of Regents. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
Motion's made. Can I have a second?
Regent
Williams,
Mahaloa,
second.
seconds.
All right, move on for discussion.
Again, Leslie's resolution is, you can find on 5.2.4, which also highlights her accomplishments. I don't need to repeat that, but again, on a personal note, I met Leslie when I joined the board in 2021, and she had been very welcoming to me and very approachable. And in my experience working with Leslie and listening to her opinions, I do know that she places such great importance on having the involvement and the engagement of the stakeholders, and that was very important to her. And so because I am now a chairperson of a committee, I always make sure that all stakeholders have their say in our resolutions. And the AP&T moves to approve this resolution.
Thank you, Regent Malilai. Any other discussion or comments? I'd just like to highlight as well as, following in her footsteps, being chair of the board, I definitely looked up to her leadership. And, again, like you mentioned, making sure that as part of our fiduciary roles is to ensure we are listening to our stakeholders. And that's kind of one of the key takeaways that I've definitely taken away from her, is making sure that we take the time to listen to the concerns. So, all right, there are no other discussions. I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
The fourth resolution is Resolution 25-27, relative to commemorating the life and legacy of the late Yochi K. Rengil, beloved director of the TRIO programs and valued member of the University of Guam Triton family. Regent Malilai moves to approve this resolution.
Okay, motion's been made. Can I have a second?
Regent Mahaloa, seconds this motion.
Move on to discussion.
Mr. Rengil passed away at the age of 84 in October 2025. He joined the UOG team in 1986, eventually serving as director of UOG TRIO programs, securing millions of funding for low-income first-generation students from Guam and the Micronesian region. He was a songwriter, a singer, a leader, an advocate, a mentor, and a man very much worthy of our gratitude and recognition of his contribution to the university. The AP&T committee recommends approval of this resolution.
Thank you. Regent Malilai, any other discussion?
Yes, I do. I know Yochi Rengil, he got me involved in Palau. He talked about all the opportunities that he offered all the students in the Micronesia and also in Guam. He had a hard passion, and kind of sad because 1 week before he passed away, he called me up He says, Mike, I want you to help me put this through. I said, the problem we have right now is that a lot of the stuff has changed because of the new administration. So I suggested to him that what we can do is go to the different presidents of the various Micronesian nations, probably using them as a benchmark, we can push this going through. And he said, okay, Mike, let's get together. Then he's gone. So that's something that I'm going to try to help him with. I don't know if I can move a mountain, but he had a lot of good passion for his students, for the people that he wanted to push. And he really helped a lot of people. He helped me. That was my comment.
Thank you, Regent Nahalawa. Any other discussion or comments before we move on further? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. All right, moving on to 5.3, Physical Facilities Committee. Fortunately, Regent Ujo couldn't be with us today. He's feeling unwell, so Regent Nahalawa will report out on the committee.
Completed? Oops, sorry. Finding it. There you go. Thank you. Okay, got it. Talking too long already. Anyway, let me continue. Okay, the Physical Facilities Committee met on November 12th at 4 p.m. We are now going over the engineering services update. The reservoir upgrades designs are complete for the bypass value and tank accessories and will be scheduled for the fiscal year 27 budget. The new UOG cybersecurity building funding request was submitted. The 82.3 million construction of 33.1 million. The GURA Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery of HUD funding is being reviewed for eligibility for Typhoon Mawar recovery needs. The construction project status update. The School of Engineering is 100% complete. The Student Success Center is 98.2% complete. The School of Health, 87.2% complete. And the rebuilding is 82.2% complete. All projects remain on track to be completed by the end of the year. Temporary internet connectivity will be established in the new buildings to a managed Wi-Fi service vendor into a permanent infrastructure has been installed. The School of Engineering has begun scheduling some occupancy for mid-December. Punch list is nearly complete and only pending the ADA door button and elevator emergency phone line. The quote was received for lab sinks and cabinets and pending procurement. Ribbon cutting ceremony tentatively planned for January. The Student Success Center estimated completion is end of November, and the occupancy permit process has started. Furniture arrived this month with punch lists and other items in progress, and I understand it just updated that, but 3 containers have just come in, and they'll be installing the furniture. Estimated completion for the WERI and the School of Health is now scheduled for December 31st due to supply chain delays. Estimates for furniture, fixtures, and equipment have been received and pending procurement. Other capital projects ongoing to the Guam Cultural Repository, HVAC and ATS repairs, OIT generator upgrades, new building data conduits, and dorm roof repairs. Discussions with GTA are also ongoing with hopes to adjust the $100,000 commitment to meet current facility infrastructure needs. The University Facilities Management Challenges. The committee discussed ongoing challenges, including a $1.3 million construction contract for much-needed repairs and the growing need to adjust deferred maintenance costs, which are estimated at $100,000. Staffing challenges, including retention and turnover, remain. Facilities and maintenance master plan is being worked on for review and discussion prior to next executive committee meetings. Safety Report. The UOG Safety Report highlighted several ongoing activities, including upcoming annual wet fire system inspections set to be completed by December. Bid packet is being prepared for repairs to 2 fire systems alarms. The annual fire extinguisher inspection is complete with 23 extinguishers pending service. Repair contract approval is in progress to repair 13 non-operational ADA doors. The public health inspections began in October and will continue until all buildings have been inspected. We have 6 students enrolled in the Student Security Program, and they are currently assisting with the UOG self-inspections and DPHS preliminary inspections. The IT modernization and compliance updates. The VIP system equipment has arrived and is being installed. The cutover to VIP phones is in progress and remain on track for completion by December 2025. The university has appointed a GLB program coordinator and developed a written information security program. Drafts of key policies such as access control, incident response, encryption, and multi-factor authentication are in progress. Security awareness training is part of the GLB compliance efforts and will be launched in phase 2. This training is designed to educate staff on safeguarding non-public information, including student financial records and other sensitive data. Cybersecurity penetration testing was completed last October by vendor Oculus IT. Assessment findings will be added to compliance remediation list with the goal to make status updated by completion by the next fiscal year audit. And this is the report from the Physical Facilities Committee.
Thank you, Regent Nahalawa. All right, any other questions for that report? We'll move on to 5.4, the Investment Committee. For the Chair, Regent Duenas, your report.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The University of Guam Investment Committee met on November 13th at the President's Conference Room. May Quorum was present. And at that meeting, our investment advisors, Raymond James, presented to the committee some information about our investment fund. As of the fiscal year ending September 30, 2025, the market value was 29.9 million, or just under 30 million, with an annual return of 11.16%, which was better than the benchmark of 10.81%. The updated report as of November 13th, the day of the meeting, the portfolio was at 30.3 million, with a quarter-to-date return of 1.02 versus the benchmark of 1.24. The entire portfolio comprises 30% U.S. equities, 23% non-U.S. equities, 27% fixed income, and 20% alternatives. The portfolio remains in line with investment policy statement. At the meeting, our investment advisors informed us that one of our investment managers, Aristotle Capital Management, continues to be in watch status. And Blackstone Private Equity Evergreen Fund, BXPE, was also introduced to the Regents. Moving on to the Freedom Conservative Fund, the ending market value as of September 30 was 4.8 million, and then 5.2 million as of November 12, 2025. The conservative portfolio is about 29% equity, 65% fixed income, and 6% cash. The conservative portfolio returned 0.94% versus the benchmark of 1.13% for the quarter to date, September 30 to November 12, and 8.28% versus the benchmark of 8.6% since inception. Raymond James walked us through their market outlook. They expect U.S. GDP to be about 2% for the year. Economic growth will slow into year-end, pressured by softer consumer spending, tariff-related adjustments, slower job gains, and a sluggish housing market. Next year looks brighter, with GDP edging up to 2% as Fed easing and tax cuts bolster sentiment. They expect the 10-year Treasury to be in the range of 4.25% to 4.5%. However, softening job growth and contained inflation should keep rate cuts on track. The 10-year Treasury yield should climb to that range over the next 12 months. They expect the S&P 500 to hit 6,900. They see the Euro USD rate at 1.15. And finally, they think that volatility will continue to increase for the balance of the year with geopolitical risks, unforeseen trade developments, Fed repricing, liquidity and credit cracks, and impacts from the shutdown that could all trigger a spike. Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Regent Dueñas. Go ahead and move on to 5.5 of our agenda, the Budget, Finance, and Audit BFA Committee. I'll call on Chair Regent Nahalawa to report out.
Thank you, Chair. A meeting of the Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee was held on September 18 at 3 p.m. A quorum was present. Acting VPF Field and Controller Martin provided the following financial updates. The university continues to receive timely allotments from the Department of Administration, and that cash continues to be monitored daily to ensure obligations are being met. Fiscal year 25 year-end reports were presented and expected to show that revenues and expenditures will break even. UOG recorded an increase in revenues. However, with adjustment, there may be a decrease in net position. Current tracking of budget to actual expenditures are also projected to be close to breaking even. Collections have been exceeded its budget target of 200,000, collecting 295,000 as of September 30. Since our last regular board meeting in September, 3 outgoing contracts were reported and were mainly related to student meal plans, the HSS skylight replacement, and the HVAC systems. At this time, we would like to also bring up resolutions. The first resolution is Resolution 25-28 relative to approving the report portion fiscal year 2026 General Operations and Special Administration budgets requested by the BFA Committee. I'd like to make a motion for this.
All right, a motion's been made. Can I have a second?
Regent Dueñas, second.
All right, move on to discussion.
Yes. Okay, this particular resolution is a normal request that we have for approving the budget, the general operations, and special appropriation budget. We need this in order to continue the operations of the university. This committee was submitted, and like I mentioned, we'd like to approve this resolution. That's my motion.
Okay. Any questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. The next item is Resolution 25-29 relative to approving the fiscal year 2026 non-appropriated funds budget. This is requested by the BFA Committee. I'd like to make a motion for this resolution.
Can I have a second?
Regent Chen, second.
Move on to discussion.
Thank you. Okay, this resolution is a non-appropriated fund. This is the fund that normally comes in for basically for income from the other related agencies. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to submit this in so that way we can, when we see the funds, we can then spend it, and also for the university. That's my motion.
Any discussion or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Next motion is Resolution 25-29, credit to approving the fiscal, relative to approving the fiscal year 2026 auxiliary budget. This is a request from the BFA Committee. I so far make the motion for this resolution.
Motion's been made. Can I have a second?
Regent Millie, seconds.
All right, move on to discussion.
Thank you. Okay, this is the auxiliary, this is the approving the fiscal auxiliary budgets. This is basically coming from the other income producing funds from the university's efforts. And this is obtaining the funds so that way we can commit it to the university for the fiscal year. This is my motion.
Any questions, comments on this resolution?
Mr. Chair, I might just typographic error on the bottom. It says adopted 25th of September. I think that should be November.
You noted? Okay.
Good. We noted.
Revise that motion to approve this resolution subject to correction. Can I have a motion?
So,
I can have a second motion to approve this resolution subject to correction.
Regent Chen seconds.
Any other questions or comments? All right, call for a vote. All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you, Chair. The next motion is 5.57. This is 25-31 relative to authorization to write off certain accounts that have been determined to be uncollectible. This is for the BFA committee. I so far make the motion.
May I have a second?
Regent Sanchez second.
All right, move on to discussion.
Yes, thank you. There are certain amounts that is deemed uncollectible, and the committee has reviewed the amount, and we feel that the money cannot be contained by the students. However, we need to take this out of the account because it's not a collectible item. So this is my motion.
Any questions or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. All right, we've now finished our last resolution. We're moving on to 6.0, ad hoc report. We have the Endowment Foundation update. Trina, you're online.
Okay. Afade Chairman Diaz and members of the Board of Regents, thank you all for providing me with the opportunity to report. UOG Endowment Foundation is very honored to be conduits for philanthropy from its donors, and we are grateful for the valuable partnership with UOG personnel in reaching out to these donors. It is their passion for their programs that help to draw further interest from the community. Some notable donations and or other payments received in the past few months include $97,000 from the Teagle Foundation in support of the Itzalanwatna, a Knowledge for Freedom program on Guam project. Special thanks to Brett Fulkerson Smith for spearheading this grant. $22,397 from Pacific Federal Management to create a Pacific Federal Management Engineering Scholarship. $7,800 will be awarded within the next semester or next year, and $14,600 will be invested with the intention of annually contributing until this becomes a fully endowed, self-sustaining scholarship. Then over $20,000 from various sponsors to support the Tamua Live on Guam comedy show was received. And special thanks to all of you who showed support and came out and enjoyed the show with us. Preliminary reports show that just over $56,000 was raised from this fundraising event. $15,000 from the Guam Southern Soil and Water Conservation District in support of the Conference on Island Sustainability through the Center of Island Sustainability. And special thanks to Dr. Austin Shelton III for his part in building this relationship. We received $12,000 from attorney Frederick Korecki to support his already endowed Frederick Korecki Scholarship. And $10,000 was received from the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District in support of the Asia Pacific Studies Center through the Guam Farmer Focus Conference. Special thanks to President Anita Borja Enriquez, Dr. Leo Liu, and Dr. Kwanju Chen for building this relationship. And $10,000 from Ms. Linda Look to support the UOG residence halls. Special thanks to Mark Mendiola for nurturing this relationship. As you interact with these UOG employees and members of these donating organizations, please take the opportunity to thank them for their continued partnership in supporting the University of Guam and elevating our island communities through higher education. And as a friendly reminder, in support of UOG's Tulas Motna strategic plan, driving college affordability, our annual G is Forgiving campaign is underway until December 31st. Be on the lookout for collection tables manned by student volunteers around campus this coming Giving Tuesday, December 2nd. Your contributions, big or small, are pooled together to create meaningful student scholarships. This concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Executive Director Pacino. All right, moving on to agenda item 7.0, we have open presentations. These are 3-minute limit per person.
Today, okay. I'll be brief. I just, again, I realized I didn't introduce myself the first time, so I'm Dr. Arun Swami, Faculty Union President, as you all know. I realized I wasn't here at the last DOR meeting, which was Regent Diaz's first session as chair. So I want to first of all apologize for that and take this opportunity on behalf of the faculty union to congratulate you or commiserate with you, as the case may be.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to know, now I noticed I have two of my predecessors as faculty union in the room now in new roles. And one of them mentioned to me a while ago that the union is actually the only entity of the university, I think this is right, that's a direct contractual partner of the board. Because of course our agreement is with you. It's our commitment to you and your commitment to us. So in that spirit, I'd just like to say, howdy partners. So.
All right, any other open presentations? Nope, hearing none. Okay, well, our last one, 8.0, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Mike Nahoas, Regent Holloway makes a motion to adjourn.
All right, can I have a second?
Regent Chen seconds.
All right. Call for vote. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, we are adjourned at 6:30.